Hello everybody and welcome back. Thank you for joining us today as we are live from the Batcave. I am Joel, your host, and with me is my co-host as always.
Starts with an N, ends with an N. Leads with an A, penultimate with an A. Add in a nice lispy TH and you have Philip.
Pretty sure that makes Nathan. So we're changing your name. We're changing your name today to Nathan. Even though you are a Philip within soul.
Pure Phil.
So, what's been going on in the Film Form ways? I saw you put a little found footage thing up on the Film Form channel. That's cool. How's that doing?
We did. So that's doing alright. So me and the other Film Form boys, we came across this little tunnel thing, which came from another thing we were doing. But we were like, let's come back tomorrow with cameras and lights and all of that cool stuff, and let's explore it. And it was actually like pretty scary. Like it was all like real. The fact that it happened in 2018, I wasn't, but the rest of it was. But because
2060,
but because the facts were, it got abolished in 1958. So by saying 2018, it was like 60 years exactly, as opposed to 62. So you're like, yeah, we'll just say it happened then. But no, the only reason we found that is because, and I can talk about it because I released it on Film for Minster. For the entire week last week, we were doing the Living Like Casey Neistat challenge, which will be coming out pretty soon, which was very tough. I had to wake up at 6 a.m. every day, work for like 10 hours straight, and it was tough, but we got through it.
He had a nice little break though, because a part of his work is this podcast, so he got to chill out and speak about comic book news. You know, watch some Stargirl. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. I'm looking forward to the videos coming soon. I've seen a couple coming up on the slate, so I'll watch out for them. Everything on my channel is currently still under production because the videos that I make are going to take a long time to make, but they will be worth it in the end. And I've got some future ideas for some other content that's not going to take so long to make for you guys. So yeah, that's cool. Should we get into the word on the web? What is the word on the web, Spider-Man?
So, there's a few different words on the web. I feel like the thing that's most relevant, though, is our good old friend, or whether he's still a good friend, I don't know, Hartley Sawyer, who has, as of yesterday, as recording, been fired from The Flash. He played Elongated Man, Ralph Dibny.
Yeah.
And so basically a couple of tweets resurfaced from many years ago. But as we all know, when stuff like that happens, the industry picks up on it straight away. And he got fired from the show.
I mean, it's quite sad. I believe it was due to the current climate with, the Black Lives Matter movement really gaining some traction due to the tragic death of George Floyd, and now there's tweets that have surfaced from a long time ago from his Twitter, and they're not very supportive or good towards the time. Yeah, politically correct for the time that we're in currently. He did act alongside a lot of African American castmates along his time on The Flash and on the crossovers. And, I think his behaviour now does not represent how he was back then.
I don't think he actually has any, racial-based issues. But
no,
of course,
I don't think so at all.
That comes out from a studio standpoint, people will, if they didn't fire him, they would have had a big backlash.
Yeah, I think it was definitely a studio decision. So what they're doing moving forward with the character is what we're here to speak about today, because along with, depressing topics, we like to cheer you up. So they're not going to recast, which is nice.
See, this is the thing, though. Granted, he made a great elongated man, but the first few episodes of Season 7 is going to be what they were going to do for the end of Season 6, so he's just not going to be there. And of course we got Sue Dearborn, aka Sue Dibny, and there's meant to be a love interest thing, but now the character's just straight gone.
Yeah. There might be some serious writing room rewrites for Season 7 now because of it as well. because he was fired from specifically season 7. I think because the thing is with Ralph is he's been shown to be able to change his face and his appearance, so they could have easily changed his appearance, but they're not doing that, and I think that's good.
I was gonna say that is like a pretty like decent idea, but again, for me, yes, I wouldn't want anyone else to play that character because he's been about since season 4, and I personally think he did it really well. But at the same time, I just don't want to see that character go to waste. You know, like it's bad what happened. I don't.
Yeah, I know,
think
but like,
kept him, but
I feel like it would be disingenuous if we saw another actor playing that character, with Caitlin saying that new actor is now her mentor that has helped her when she's Killer Frost, helped her be able to like relate to people and stuff. And I just think it'll be a bit disingenuous if all of the things that Hartley did during his time on The Flash, when the characters are saying, remember this from season 4 and stuff, and it's genuinely not that version of him that was there. So I mean, it's a disconnect, really.
But you got Terrence Howard in Iron Man going on to Don Cheadle, and you've got Ed Norton, Mark Ruffalo, Banner.
Yes, but the first time we see Mark Ruffalo, it is not mentioned that he had that previous film. When we see Don Cheadle, he plays a different version than Terrence Howard did. Terrence Howard's performance and his performance were very different, and the ties from the first film are not the ties they use throughout the franchise.
Do you think? I don't know how they go about it, because obviously they could do the whole Wally West thing where it's like, oh, he's gone off with other people. But do you think that they could do something where it's like, you see, I don't know, Joe West, or you see someone, and then someone's like, okay, Ralph, you got this, and it's like, oh, okay, that's actually Ralph just like shapeshifted, but then he dies. Right. But then because he's dead, he can't like shift back, so they're like, oh god, now he's dead, or something like that.
Right.
Or do you think they'll be like, oh, maybe he has to go away on like another mission, but he needs to disguise
I
himself
don't
as
think
else?
they're gonna kill him off. I think they're gonna make him a hero of a different city.
Because that's the thing, because season 6 made the whole point of making elongated man the city's hero, because Vibe lost his powers, and the Barry's like, right, I'm going to die in Crisis, so Central City needs a hero.
I like the idea of Vibe being the Central City hero, because he's not really related to any other comic book characters in the comics. Like, when you think Vibe, you definitely think like Central City type of stuff. You're not thinking like Metropolis. I don't think I've ever seen a Vibes a Superman story where Vibes featured in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like I quite like that, because he's a very different person in the comics to who Cisco Ramon is now. But like, still, they could have kept that connection there. But I think his Vibe powers are gone now, aren't they? I'm not sure where we're up to that.
So he'd got rid of them. He got given them back in Crisis, but then it was the whole situation of the frequency or vibration patterns of this new multiverse is completely different, so no one knows how to breach.
Yeah.
That's what they mentioned. So I don't know whether they're going to stick to that, but who knows?
Yeah, because, they think the multiverse is gone.
Yeah.
Whereas though we know it's not, because of Stargirl and the HBO Max universes.
Yeah.
Do you think the Justice League Dark universe is going to cross over with the Green Lantern one? Is that going to be in the same universe, or do you think they'll ever cross over?
I feel like they're definitely going to say it's in the same multiverse, you know, like Titans, Doom Patrol, Stargirl, Flash, blah, blah. Whether they actually cross over, I'm not sure, because again, like I don't feel like Stargirl would cross over with Earth Prime. Just because they're evidently, we've seen...
I feel like she will eventually. But like 2-3 seasons in.
Yeah, so like not for a while. Or at least not until maybe The Flash is done as well, or, you know, until The Flash is coming to an end of its run.
Yeah, I think it's sad to lose that actor. I really did enjoy his performance. With that being said, I 100% respect the zero tolerance rule.
Yeah.
Zero tolerance for any sort of political incorrectness. He did make a statement saying that he apologizes and he's not going to make any excuses, which is good for him. And ain't good for everyone in the world. But yeah, I just hope that in the future, if a more major character had made those statements, that they would then take that zero policy rule with them as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, I just feel like maybe Grant Gustin wouldn't have been treated with the same thing if he was the person that had those tweets come out about him. I think he would have had to post something publicly and apologise to everyone, but they're not going to cancel the show because he is the Flash, right?
Well, but that's the thing with James Gunn. It happened with James Gunn, but now he's rehired again.
Yeah. Well, it's the thing of, like, back in, the past, I don't want to excuse anyone's actions at all, but when Twitter was just a place where you would post stuff like, on Facebook there's like shit posting, and on Reddit there's shit posting. That was just all that Twitter was back in the day.
Yeah.
And like, no one ever thought that their accounts that have been like 12 years old were ever going to go back to the root of their tweets, the very first tweets that they made, which were going to be abhorrent and just nonsense.
Yeah. Because that's the thing as
well. But I think
you
actors should have,
you've got to think as well, like, even though, yes, what he said was very bad, that man randomly had a call one day and was like, something you said, like, 6-7 years ago, that was very, not even half-hearted, less than that, has resurfaced, and therefore you would have now lost your job. That's got to be hard for him. Even though, again, no excuses, we can't say he didn't say the things he did.
Yeah, and it's probably going to, affect his casting in the future as well.
Yeah.
It's very unfortunate. I'm not a big fan of it, but the zero tolerance thing is I do respect that.
As bad as it is as well, you got to laugh in the sense of there's a thing going around where there's a scene where Ralph Dibny gets fired from his like actual job, and he's like, and if it weren't for you, I wouldn't have lost my job. And then it's just Barry Allen screaming, "You got yourself fired!" And it's like, well, it's not too soon, but at the same time, that's not pretty quick. Whoever did that.
You've winced when I've made some offensive jokes, but then you come out with a too soon. No, not too soon at all. Yeah, no, he did get himself fired. Okay. Well, I've got a more light-hearted piece of news. From that, which is about Batwoman, seeing as though we'll keep with the CW. It's not really a major thing, but it's just a thing we're updating you. So as Ruby Rose has left the Batwoman TV show, what it's down to, we still don't know. Like, I think it's a mix of maybe creative differences, the fact that she was on a different trajectory, like for movies and stuff, like she did the Meg before she did Batwoman and stuff. So she's on a different trajectory. She got a major injury while on set doing the CW shows. All of that together, I think that's probably why she's left the show.
I feel like it was, again, obviously no one can speak the truth other than her, but it definitely feels like it was just a bit overwhelming. Obviously there was that injury, which she's come out and said, the stunt team said I can have a stunt double, they give me everything they needed, I didn't really listen, whatever, but I feel like it just was a bit overwhelming and it was a bit much, and it's a lot, isn't it? Like, they're filming pretty much every day for like 4 months, they get a bit of a break and then straight on ready for the next season then.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it was a bit much, and I think that's probably why she left. We are not getting a new Mrs. Kane. We are not getting Kate Kane. I think that's her name, right? That's the character she was playing, Kate Kane.
Yeah, I think so.
That's not who we're getting. We're getting a brand new Batwoman, so a new character.
Are we? Yes.
So Ruby Rose is not being recast. The new thing, in the Arrowverse is we are going to get a different Batwoman. These are reports from like comicbookmovie.com and stuff like that, and the Hollywood Reporter, that there will be a new Batwoman character. There will not be a recast. They were originally going to do a recast, but apparently not anymore.
Okay.
So what do you think about that? Would you rather it be a recast or a new character?
okay, so this is the thing. It's kind of mixed because on the one hand, the season's only just starting out. We've only had season 1, so a recast, for a new character that can span the next, 5, 6, 7 seasons, however many they do. It works because it's like they'll have more time with this new character than they did with that first character in season 1, right? That being said, the Kate Kane we've seen was, she was in Crisis. She was the season 1 Batgirl. She was the original one. So there is a kind of part of me that's thinking, is it a really good idea to have one season of this character and then immediately just pretty much reboot it? I know like the storylines and the other characters around it will be the same, but
well, this is the thing, right? Is I did watch Batwoman. I didn't watch all of it, but I watched some of it. And I'm pretty sure you haven't watched any of Batwoman. Is that correct?
No, yeah.
Right, okay, so I'll lay down some stuff here. A major plot point is the overarching villain Batwoman season 1 is the villain is Kate Kane's sister.
Right.
Right? Or whether we know if it's actually her or whether it's not her. We're pretty sure it's her because there's a lot of stuff around it that is mysterious. The whole show had a lot of family ties to it. She's Bruce's cousin. She's Lucius Fox's son's friend. She's, right. Her father is is like a general or like the CEO of a security company that protects Gotham. She went to military school, stuff like that. She is LGBT in it. She is, I'm not sure if she's bi or if she is lesbian, but she has a relationship with a woman in it in the first couple of episodes. So, and that was at like a military school that she then had to leave because you're not allowed to be in a relationship with a female, during military school. So, there were things that had like a lot of ties to it. If you're recasting, all of that stuff falls apart for me, right?
Yeah.
Like, you don't have the same connections and stuff like that. I think you can keep the friendship with Lucius Fox's son. I don't know what his name is, but we'll just call him Fox Jr. I've forgotten his name. You can keep that relationship with Fox Jr. Make him related to Bruce if you need to make him related to Bruce. You just need to they need to, whichever person takes on this new Batwoman role, like not recast but like the new Batwoman, they need to have a real good tie to Gotham, and they're pretty much going to need to strip all the family stuff back because it's like Kate Kane's father, so someone Kane runs the security firm that's just trying to protect Gotham. Like, that needs to be done away with.
Yeah.
Like, unless they get the villain, Kate Kane's sister, and make her Batwoman. I think there would be uproar there.
Yeah, but again, like you said, like obviously the kind of development and the emotional stuff we've seen the first character go through, it's not going to feel the same for a different actress.
Yeah,
again,
it's definitely
I just feel like how are they say, so is it going to be the same character but completely different, or is it going to be a new character that's come in and we're saying that the old characters just disappeared?
Do you want to know what the showrunner has said?
Yeah.
So, the showrunner made a statement, Caroline Dreiss. She has said, to be honest with you, I did consider the soap opera version for a hot minute selfishly because we had already a couple episodes written, and transition-wise it would be seamless, Dreiss said. So originally they were thinking of just swapping the actor and keeping Kate Kane. Upon further reflection, and Greg Berlanti helped me make this call. He is way smarter than me about this sort of stuff. He said, we should just reboot the character in terms of reboot Batwoman as a different character, and also respect everything that Ruby put into Kate Kane as a character. And I just think it helps the audience a little bit too, that we are not asking them to address the elephant in the room. So it's unclear whether Ryan is a newly created character or a code name for an existing DC character, but Dryas indicated that it may be a new creation taking on Batwoman. I'm inventing a whole new character who in her past was inspired by Batwoman, so she will take on the mantle and is completely maybe not the right person at the time to be doing it, so that's what makes it fun.
Okay.
So I'm willing to give it a go.
Yeah,
My
definitely.
hopes was if they were going to get rid of Kate Kane that we'd get a Barbara Gordon, but obviously,
Yeah.
yeah, I know I blew your mind, but unfortunately, Nathan, that's Batgirl, and I don't think they're gonna do it. They should.
We'll maybe see her at any point though, like regardless of if the recast had happened. Do you reckon like just in the series at any point we'll see her?
See,
Barbara Gordon.
oh, I would hope so, but I think she's such a big comic character that they may be a bit hesitant to do so.
That's fair. That's okay. Well, again, like I said, it's down to obviously whatever the studio wants to do. I didn't watch the show anyway, so I don't really mind as much. But what I saw from Crisis,
The main thing is really now for people who didn't really like Batwoman for the first time, and they weren't really on board or they never watched it, you can watch from season 2 now, and you get a whole new fresh take on it. So maybe when the new Batwoman, when Batwoman comes out, season 2, maybe we'll do a what we watch and see if we like this better than, well, if I like it better, and see what you think about Batwoman.
Sounds good.
Okay, cool. That was only supposed to be a short update. Jesus. All right, have you got any more news?
I've got something pretty interesting. So it's not so much comic news, but just film industry in general. So as hopefully everyone knows, we're in a bit of an issue in the world with a pandemic. And obviously, at some point, film and TV is going to have to move forward. Apparently, and again, this is just rumor and odds on, maybe probably won't happen, but romance / like intimacy / sex scenes in any future film and TV whatever may be achieved with visual effects. In order for actors not to have to be kissing
Yes.
people who obviously we're not going to be in a point where it's like he's a different household, so don't go near him, but
Yeah.
I feel like that type of contact with just a rando is going to be a bit thing. So apparently they're going to try and achieve it with VFX, but I'm just wondering, as in the way that the Sims do a woohoo, or
maybe they full
CG
like
lips.
I don't know. In The Shape of Water, I never watched that film all the way through. Well, I did actually. I'm lying to you. I watched that film, but I didn't. I skipped the sex scene. I think there was a sex scene, but I skipped it. If that was CG, maybe they could do it that way because it was a fish man.
Well, this is what I'm thinking is, you know how like at the end of I think it was Thor: The Dark World, he comes back and then Jane kisses him, but they couldn't get Natalie Portman, so they just got Thor's wife and just did like prosthetic makeup on the back of it.
Right.
Maybe they just like could be like, right, kiss your actual other. We'll just track their face on. And
Yeah,
do
but
CG.
like sometimes that's maybe a problem with ethnicity and stuff.
True.
So,
Well, how do you think they do it then? Any type of romance scenes, but with VFX?
with smart cuts,
Do you think?
yeah, person is lying on top of another person, so you get the shot of the person lying on top of a body double. So like just like anything, put cushions there if you have to. Film it, tripod obviously, and then switch it out. Put the actor in the bed by themselves, acting to nothing, and then cut the two things together.
It's a weird one. It's definitely a weird one.
Yeah, I think that would be unnatural, and to be honest, they would have to put a lot of things in place. In order to do it right and to do it correctly, like geometry wise, they could even get 3D body scans and stuff. But then again, it doesn't. The movement of the bed, you couldn't use certain materials because otherwise it would show the. Everything would have to be flat. So, yeah. It's gonna be it's going to be a difficult one, but I think it's probably down to the actor's preference. If the actor says, you know, during their contract, I'm okay doing this, then they might just do it the old way. Because it's probably down to the actors. Do you know what I mean?
Well, as in, so just whether they feel alright doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
If they don't,
again,
then
it's a very weird one. It's not something usually talked about on here.
No, I know. Like, currently soap operas, like EastEnders, I think they're filming, but they're like using really cool camera tricks in order to do social distancing. So it looks like two characters are together, but in fact, like, one is just further back.
Yeah.
So like they're using like not really good depth of field lenses and stuff. They're just using like
but not
standard.
even that. Just no like wide shots where you can see them sat next to each other on a sofa. Cause, like,
yeah, exactly. Well, they've even got like wide shots like in there though. They've got like really wide shots, so like you can see one character in another room, and then two characters in a different room, and because they're all like technically 2 feet apart. And then they've done it with a wide shot that's like, you know, obviously it's a specific lens that they're using, but
yeah,
they're doing it and it's working. I think it's probably adding to the time that they can do it though. So I think if things have to happen like that, then production needs to be not as quick. Like they need to release episodes like every 2 weeks rather than every week or something like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Is there anything else you want to say on this one before I jump into my next piece of news?
No, I think that's about it. Yeah, just curious as to if that will actually go forward.
Yeah. Well, it's something that we'll have to monitor and we'll update. DC cuts ties with Diamond Comic distributors. And this is sourced a lot of places, but if you want a direct source, The Hollywood Reporter has reported on this. We've got some statements and stuff, but the publisher will no longer distribute through the industry leader in comic distribution. It's a seismic shift for the comic book industry. DC has cut ties with Diamond Comic distributors. The announcement was made via an email to retailers sent Friday morning, with the company telling customers that all orders for DC product will be fulfilled by Luna Distribution and UCS Comic Distributors for periodic releases, and Penguin Random House for graphic novels and collected editions. So they've moved to Luna Distribution and UCS Comic Distributors and Penguin Random House for graphic novels and collected editions.
Wasn't there a thing at one point where people were saying that they were moving to Marvel? Not like Marvel as in...
Oh, that was...
the publisher.
Yeah, that was through AT&T and stuff like that. I think that deal went nowhere. But yeah, it was just distribution, I think. But I'm pretty sure I know why Diamond Comic Distributors is now not the distributor, because well, I'll read you the statement first from the email. The email sent to the retailers was, "We recognise that to many of you this may seem like a momentous decision. However, we can assure you that this change in DC's distribution plans has not been made lightly and follows a long period of thought and consideration. The change of direction is in line with DC's overall strategic vision intended to improve the health of and strengthen the direct market, as well as grow the numbers of fans who read comic worldwide." So that's what they've said publicly. I'm pretty sure that they were blindsided because Diamond Comic Distributors during the COVID-19 failed to be able to pick up on orders.
Right. Okay.
Like, as a distributor, like, they should be able to just keep running during COVID-19. And I'm pretty sure they failed to do so. And this was like in a long line of things that they've messed up with in the past. Now, DC has been with Diamond Comic Distributors for a very long time. So this must have been just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
So in the near term, Diamond will only be fulfilling orders placed through June 1st, final order cut off, and will not solicit the sale of new DC titles further.
Well, I mean, I don't think that's going to change the quality of things necessarily.
No, absolutely not. And the distributors they've gone to are not brand new by any means. Like Penguin Random House for graphic novels and stuff like that. I'm not a massive knower of everything.
Yeah.
But I mean, they have been in like Penguin Random House has been around for at least 5 to 7 years. It's an American book publisher, right? So the graphic novels are in a book publisher's hands, so that's fine. And then you've got Luna Distribution. No clue who they are, but UCS comic distributors. Yeah, they're known. They're not brand new.
Okay, well, I'll put trust in the fact that if DC as a company and the heads over there are thinking, right, this is a good move for us now, this is a good place to go, then let's just them.
Yeah, I think it is a bit of a seismic shift though for the way this is going to do, but they've mentioned in their statement that they're trying to get a growth in the number of fans who read comics worldwide. So maybe another thing with going with these specific publishers is that, and distributors and stuff like that, maybe they've got a new marketing strategy, and that these distributors can distribute a lot better or in wider areas. So they might have some one-ups on Diamond Comic distributors. But I wonder what that means for Diamond Comic. I wonder what that means for them.
Is there a deal that's already gone down, or is there currently a process going through, and they'll be with them, I don't know, in 2021 or something?
So the final cut-off is June 1st for Diamond Comic. And then from I think it's June 8th, the other comic distributors are picking up.
It's currently June 10th, bro, so...
Right. So, yeah. They were with Diamond Comic distributors for 25 years.
Damn, bro. That's a big hit.
Yeah.
But then again, we've seen success in that. You have Power Rangers, that was Saban, moved to Disney. Some pretty good seasons came out of that. Some okay ones, but some pretty good ones. Went back to Saban. Wasn't the best. We've had one singular Hasbro season. Two realistically, but one that's only Hasbro, and that's been fire.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we've seen how things like this can benefit,
Yeah,
overall.
a good change up, stuff like that. Yeah.
And hopefully as well, the whole Fox Marvel thing, we can see good come from that as well. But again, it's going to be a while till we see, Deadpool and X-Men in the MCU. But
I don't think it'll be that long. But
do you know?
No, I do not. I have some speculation, but maybe we'll speak about that another time.
Cool.
But yeah, there's definite talks and stuff, and there's definite talks for casting. So yeah, that's just a short one with Diamond Comic Distributors. Have you got anything else?
So I got one more. It is to do with Matt Reeves' Batman, as people like to call it, Robert Pattinson's Batman.
Nice.
And a new version of the Joker is rumoured to be introduced in that Matt Reeves trilogy. So basically, it comes down to, people have been saying, is it going to be Joaquin Phoenix? Personally, I think absolutely not. They're just trying to make them standalone films, right?
Yeah.
But if we're having a new Joker introduced in the Batman trilogy, okay? First of all, very broad of them to think they can get a trilogy out. I don't think they can't if they do it right, but we haven't, Batman hasn't had that much luck in recent years.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, we get a Joker that, again, does his own thing, but is comic accurate in the sense of, Joaquin Phoenix, you watched him, you've seen him dress up as a Joker, but you couldn't be like, that is the Joker.
Yeah.
He was his own thing. I want to be able to see one where you can look at him and be like, damn, he's doing a pretty good job as Joker, I won't lie.
Yeah,
It doesn't need to be amazing, but I just want someone cast who can do it well.
Well, let's get into it, right? Let's get into it. Who would you want to see play the Joker? Give me your top 3.
See, I forget his first name because he's got like lots of brothers, but he plays It in the new thing, something Skarsgård.
Is it the guy who plays It?
Yeah. He plays the Pennywise.
Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah, I think he could, he's pretty scary in it, and I think he could do okay.
I think he's too young.
Do you?
Yeah, he's too young. And like, I get that we're getting an earlier on Batman, but that doesn't mean the Joker needs to be baby-faced as well. Like, the Joker's an old man by the time Batman's like really in his prime, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You need someone like at least in their 30s, at the very least, I think.
How about I forget his name. Oh, right. I can't remember his name for the life of me. And I can't remember what he's in. I just remember seeing him in something before, and I was like, he looks like a cool Joker. But what about is it Brad Dourif? He was in Child's Play.
Right.
He's the voice of Chucky.
Yeah.
I think he's definitely got the voice for it. And he's pretty old, I think, but I don't know. I can't remember what he looks like. So.
Yeah.
That's something I heard of a while ago. I could be getting his name completely wrong. It's Brad something.
I have a top 3. You want to hear my top 3?
Let's go for it.
Number 1, Willem Dafoe.
Yes.
He slays as a villain, as we see him with Green Goblin in Spider-Man. Hopefully that wouldn't get in the way. But also, the last movie he was in, and the last movie our Batman was in, was together. So they work well together already. They already have on-set chemistry, and they already know each other very well. Okay? I think that Willem Dafoe works well with our Batman, is the perfect voice, perfect look for the Joker. You would not need any prosthetics. He is just, in every sense of the word, the perfect Joker for me. Okay? Now, I understand that may be hard to get. Either that Dafoe doesn't want to do it, or that maybe like it's like expected, so the studio doesn't want to do it and they want to go like unique. So I've got a second, Christoph Waltz.
Okay.
Have you ever seen Django?
No.
Right. Google Christoph Waltz. I'm pretty sure you've seen him in something.
Christoph Waltz.
Yeah. He's a German-Austrian actor, and he's appeared in a good couple of things. But like, he was in Inglourious Bastards, Django Unchained. He was in one of the Bond movies. He's very good. He's a very good actor. I love him. His accent is unique. I'm not sure if he could do the American accent or something like that, but I don't think that that's going to limit him. He speaks perfect English, and he's so great. He's super good as an actor, and he plays villains well. Like, even in Django Unchained, right? He is not a villain, but he says things so villainously and menacingly. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think he would be like one of those choices that the studio would go for, because it's like, ooh, he's different, and we need something different to keep everything fresh, right? So if you're gonna go different, but go an amazing actor within the age range that could bring something brand new to the character, instead of going for something different, like, oh, I don't know, Jake Gyllenhaal's played a psycho and he's been a villain before, let's chuck him as the Joker. I don't subscribe to the idea that Jake Gyllenhaal would be a great Joker.
Yeah, no me. I didn't even know that people were considering that. To be honest,
it's like everyone's top pick.
Is it?
Yeah. And another pick that a lot of people do say, though, and I agree with, is Christian Bale. Christian Bale,
Right.
who has played Batman, but he has also played American Psycho, right? And if you're going to cast someone who's been like a psycho before, or, you know, you're going to cast someone, you know, with range or something, he's Welsh, so I've got to go with him. Christian Bale as the Joker. I'd watch that all day.
Yeah, definitely.
And he's a real character actor. He's really in depth with the roles that he takes on. Like, Batman, seeing him as Batman, absolutely nothing, right? Because he is, you know, he plays Bruce Wayne and he plays Batman, right? Whatever. But seeing him in his other stuff, like The Machinist, is like, you know, it's a film from 2004. Really good film. Just like, he's so, like, it's one of basically, he lost ridiculous amounts of weight and became basically anorexic for it.
Yeah, I've seen photos.
And it's beyond. But
do you know
go on.
There is one person I have in mind. It's a bit of a stretch though. He just looks a bit too animated.
Who's that?
But it's actually Dick Dastardly.
In disguise. Yeah, I would 100% enjoy a movie where Dick Dastardly was the Joker all along in disguise. A lot of people say Johnny Depp. Now, I don't hate the idea, but, like, I don't love it either.
The age is there.
The age
like,
is probably perfect. And,
can I say,
the look is quite good.
I know this wouldn't happen, but if we want to talk about someone who can do Joker really well, you know, like the main guy from Bat and the Sun, who, like, he plays Spider-Man in their stuff, and he's like the main.
Oh yeah, I know him.
Guy who runs it. Like, he does like a really good Joker. Like, he's
I know a bunch of cosplayers who do an amazing Joker.
There are some people who do better Jokers
than actors.
Than some actors that I've seen.
Yeah, and it's one of those things because, like, they've been studying the Joker for a very long time because they go to conventions and only do the Joker. Do you know what I mean? People who are like cosplayers and stuff and who dress up as the Jokers idolize him, like, not idolize his morals or his ways, but idolize the characteristics of him and try to play them off. Yeah, I mean, cast the cosplayer, right? There's a guy called Alex who I follow on Instagram who does an amazing Joker, and he could also bring a twist to it because he does like a punk rock Joker as well.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Do you think they're gonna go with standard Joker, or do you reckon they're gonna have a twist on it?
I think they should, man. I think they should. If they're going with standard actual comic book storylines like the Long Halloween or the Long Night.
But have you seen the way Batman looks though? Like, the entire leather cowl and the ears are just like tiny and thin.
Yeah, but is his costume going to advance and change over the years? Because we're getting like a really early Batman, right? So is he gonna, are all the costumes and stuff like that gonna change over time? Like, I'm not a massive fan of his costume, if I'm honest, but also it's more important to me what he does than how he looks, right? Because Batman's iconic, and like we know what he's supposed to look like, so you can sort of look past it.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, it's important to me that he's a detective.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's also like the reason behind him having this as the suit.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like I've got a utility belt. Like, if he didn't have a utility belt at all, I'd be like, well, all right, okay. I guess they're going off the wall with this. But like, he has a utility belt. I want to know what's inside it. You know what I mean? I don't want him to just have it. Like, that's the thing. Like, Ben Affleck's Batman, right? I'm not going to shit on it because I quite enjoyed it. But like, he had no reason to have a utility belt basically, because everything that he used was basically either smoke pellets or the grappling hook and his car. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? He never used like any specific gadgets, and I don't want him to have shark repellent on him. Don't get me wrong, but like, I want him to have like some other things other than smoke pellets. You know what I mean? like, I don't know, a heartbeat monitor, you know, an X-ray scanner, something like that.
It's definitely worth looking, because, like, again, from what I've seen, they are definitely going with a more tactical look. So whether they go for an all-out, you know, utility,
it could be that this Batman's trying to go to war, right? Because he's got a lot of villains to deal with.
Yeah.
So this could be like tactical gear.
I guess we'll see. Is the film being pushed back?
The film, I'm not sure, but I did hear rumours that it was beginning shooting again.
Okay, that's cool.
I'm not sure what the exact thing on that is, but I know they if they're not shooting again now, they're going to be shooting again very soon.
Okay, that's dope.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So, along with the Batman theme, I think this may cut us off, and we'll jump into what we watch. Along with the Batman theme, apparently there is currently being a Bane script written, based on a character study, the same as like with the Joker. So it's not 100% that it's a script, but there's definitely a Bane solo movie pitch going on. So a character study for him. Now I don't know if I like this. Not because I don't want it. Not because I don't think it could be good, but I think it's one of those characters that, yes, the Joker is so interesting no matter who you put up against, right? The Joker and Superman have had some amazing storylines, including the one that created a whole nother DC universe that is like successful by itself and has a game franchise based off it. Injustice is based off Superman and the Joker's relationship, right?
Yeah.
I get that the Joker can be interesting by himself. The most interesting thing about Bane is the fact that he broke Batman's back.
Yeah.
Like, and that's mean, right? Because he's got really good storylines, and if you're a deep reader of Bane and you really are a fan of him and you go deep in the comics, there are probably storylines where he shines and he's very good. Okay? But he is a foil to Batman. They introduced him as a stepping stone. He was introduced in a very, like, we'll throw this guy out way. You know what I mean? He wasn't, like, really meticulously thought about when he was being designed, first of all, Bane. And that can be said about a lot of comic book characters, but if you're going to do a character study on Bane, what are you going to do? He's a drug addict? Or is the drug not real? You know what I mean? When it comes to the Joker, it's like, is everything not real? Is it all mental health again? Like,
exactly, that's the best thing about the Joker film. Like, because of his illness and his mental health and, you know, his laughing disorder.
Yeah,
it gave the character a story that wasn't, you know, if you take away the fact that he's Joker,
it still works.
Yeah,
it still works. Yeah, it does, and you're absolutely correct there. And I think you can do that with Bane, right? You can do that and make it a drug addict story, but is it going to be interesting? One of the most interesting things about the Joker movie for me, right? Because I know there's a lot of people out there that don't like that movie, or they're trying to be contrarian and they did like the movie and they just don't want to tell people that they like the movie, right? But it is one of the most glorious things for me because it's the best use of the film technique, an unreliable narrative that we have in the modern day. Before this, Fight Club, right? Fight Club was the best unreliable narrative and flip and switch we had. And it still is, because Fight Club's like a cult classic, and that flip is not as good as... and the Joker is not as good as that flip. But when you look at the Joker, and the fact that the girl was never there, right? In all of those things, and you watch the movie back and you realise that he's hallucinating having a relationship with this woman from down the hall, that like unreliable narrative, because before this we don't think that we're viewing the movie through his eyes. Before this we're not on his side, we're just watching him as a character study, but you slowly throughout this film become enamored with what's going to happen to him, and then you start to see the world through his eyes, through his vision. He tells you more and more about what he thinks about the world, how it's terrible out there, and what he's explaining to Murray later on in the Murray in the chat show and stuff. And then all of a sudden you're on his side, right? You want to see what happens next, and as you're on his side, you meet this girl, and like he starts to have this relationship, and you're seeing the world through his eyes, and then eventually you snap out of that because the girl was never real. All his ideals don't make sense, and yes, he shouldn't really be killing people, right? it's to that point with, yes, you're with him because of the train. You're with him, you got on the train with him, he got beaten up, you're now with him. You snap out of that the moment you realise that it's in his head. Like, a lot of this stuff is in his head. And,
right, yeah.
And, like, you know, the thing with Thomas Wayne being his father, not even being his father, right? So, you find out the girl's not real. Thomas Wayne's not his father. That's delusions of grandeur. You know, you're taking a step back from seeing the world through his eyes again and realizing this person is actually someone with a mental illness who has been taken advantage on TV, beaten up on a subway, you know, drawn to murdering people out of self-defense, and he's in this really vulnerable state, and what he does with it and how he takes it, the story in the back half of it could have gone a completely other way. He could have just gone to prison and, like, he wouldn't be a martyr, and people didn't make this Joker movement and say, you know, but the world is terrible, as we saw through his eyes earlier, so there is this big movement, and it has this climax where he spoilers, kills Murray, and he goes to the asylum, and then he kills the woman in the asylum, and he tries to escape, and he stands on the car, and everyone's around him, and they use him as a martyr. But, like, this could have easily gone a completely different way, and he is still just a man with mental health issues.
Well, it's the exact same thing with the fact that, you know, it stemmed from his mother as well. We don't think there's anything. Obviously, we think, his mother keeps saying about Bruce Wayne. You know, it's just, you know, it's like.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that all old people are like that. But, you know,
Thomas
like,
Wayne, but yeah.
Thomas Wayne, yeah, sorry. You know, she's like, oh no, she's getting old. You know, she's just cute, basically. And then you realise, oh no, she's just mentally, like, effed and realistically.
Yeah, that's another, like, thing where you just, like, realise his mother's super mentally ill as well.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it is. But I think with that, if you're gonna do that, there's so much, like, backstory that they made for the Joker. Like, we didn't get, like, the Red Hood Joker by any means, right? So with Bane's, there is a potential that they could make that type of backstory stuff for Bane as well. But I just think the Joker having mental health issues is a really unique spin on the character. Bane, all I can think of is he's a dude with super strength, right?
Yeah.
Like, where do you take that? If you're going to do a solo movie in the same vein as the Joker, do it on Mr. Freeze, Dr. Freeze, the Freeze Man, you know? Do it based on the animated series Freeze Tragedy, you know? Have a woman in ice in his fucking house or something, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Make him so he has, like, a medical condition where, like, too much heat burns his skin, so he has to stay cold all the time. You know what I mean? And, like, you know, you can tell so many stories with that, and you can make it even better, and you can make it cheap the same way you made Joker cheap. But there's so much backstory to that character. We've been given so much more to explore. He's not a villain for no reason, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah. So, if you're going to do a character study, I think, you know, do it on Arnold Schwarzenegger, Mr. Freeze. Just do it on the Freeze. And I don't think Bane's a really good one for that. Plus, we already had a Bane, like, 10 years ago? When did The Dark Knight come out?
The Dark Knight Rises was 2012?
2012. 8 years ago we had a Bane. You know what I mean? And that was also, like, a spin on his backstory, so... Yeah, I'm not sure about that. But anyway,
again, if it's just a pitch, maybe it won't go through. Maybe it will. We'll just have to see.
Yeah. I want to talk about one last thing because I know you don't have any more news. Before we move on to what we watched, just because I just realised this is a thing that I want to get into just to have a quick chat about it. So the director of the New Mutants has posted some tweets, right? And you see a lot of people like the original director before he was taken off it of Suicide Squad putting some tweets out. Have you seen any of these tweets?
I have not. Informed me.
Okay, so in light of the director's cut, the Snyder cut, coming together, being put together, a really expensive thing, by the way, to do, because they have to repay a lot of people who worked on that movie just to put it together. In light of all that coming together, you see a lot more directors piping up about their experiences with movies. The one that I think is trying maybe to get a Snyder Cut type thing happening for him is the director of Suicide Squad, the first one, the one who was taken away from the project, and then like a lot of scenes, it was cut together by a different company, and like there was reshoots on that happened, and basically he said there was a different film coming out of that. There was a different film that he could have made for the Suicide Squad. Although we're already getting a Suicide Squad reboot now. So I don't think that he's going to get his wish. But he moans on Twitter a bit, right, about that. And I think he's right to moan because obviously he did that thing. But he wasn't moaning at the time. Do you know what I mean? He's only moaning now.
Yeah, I mean...
because
he's seeing what's Snyder has done.
Yeah. So he's had that thing. But here's the interesting one for me. Because I think there could be some stuff to this. The director of the New Mutants has not, because it's coming out, has not said that obviously, it was a struggle to make this movie or whatever. He said, I'm finally making the movie that I wanted to make, and I've made it or whatever. I can't remember what he said exactly. I should get the quote up, but I'm not going to because I'm lazy. But he said, I finally made the movie I want to make. Now my ultimate goal is to have this movie liked and then to make it a trilogy.
Bold statement.
A bold statement indeed. Now the New Mutants was made originally under Fox, now under Marvel.
Yeah.
And his plans for the movie... and for the franchise is that he wants to make a trilogy out of the New Mutant stuff.
Well, something worth noting as well. Originally, this film started production in 2017. So
we would have had the second film out by now if it came out in 2017.
Yeah, for anyone who is not able to count in the correct way, 3 years that's been, and cause it's like I seen people talking about it, and they were saying there was like some people who were saying, I'm glad it's finally coming out. I'm glad we finally get to see what the director was going for. And there's other people that are like, why are they even bothered anymore? So the fact that he's come out and said we want to make a trilogy out of something that's taken 3 years to make as is.
Yeah, which is not his fault, to be honest.
It's not, but again, we need. For him to say that, he needs the film to go well. Because I know I bring it up a lot, but the 2017 Power Ranger film, their idea was a 7-movie thing where they went through either different seasons or different storylines, whatever. And the plan was 2017, and then second film 2019, third film 2021. First film came out, didn't do great. That was the end of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they thought they were going to go well, and then it didn't. We're already in the stage of New Mutants has been put back so much that he's been very optimistic, which good on him.
Mm-hmm.
But he is very optimistic on this.
I think he has to be though, right?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Because only he knows what the movie is.
Yeah, which is good in a sense, because if he feels that good about it, like. With the Justice League, we had a version that wasn't great. Zack Snyder wanted to make his version. With New Mutants, it kind of, there was lots of different things happening, but we never saw the version that the director wasn't happy with. We'd only seen the version that he is happy with. So hopefully that gives some light to it. Hopefully that means, if anything.
Yeah, I think with the Suicide Squad, it's a dead horse. With New Mutants, only time will tell whether people like that film, right? And if people like that film, then he can go into negotiations on whether he's going to do a different film or whether he's going to do more of the New Mutants films and stuff like that. But in my honest opinion, I think with all the reshoots, with all the the things that they did for that movie and the money they spent on it, I think they might be flogging a dead horse, but I don't know because I've not seen the film.
Obviously, 28th of August is when it's set to release. We'll see if it does or not.
Yeah, 28th of August, 1904.
Some theatres are open back up around the world. So, or at least are in the process of. So we'll see.
He says Tenet is going to be played in 90% of cinemas, but just not in major cities. But major cities are where they bring in the most revenue. So
exactly, this is the thing. So even if New Mutants comes out and is actually really good, if no one can see it because no one can get to a cinema, or no one doesn't feel safe going to a cinema, then either way, even if he makes a banging film,
I don't think the director's going to allow that to take that risk, because Christopher Nolan's willing to take that risk, and he's very much saying that he wants to bring Tenet out as soon as he can, right? Because the film's done and he doesn't want to tinker with it anymore. So he's saying he's going to reopen the cinema industry everywhere and stuff with Tenet, but I don't think the New Mutants director has that. He's not Christopher Nolan, and he knows that he won't be bringing loads of people back to the cinema, and he knows it's a bad time at the moment. So I don't think he's going to. I don't think he's gonna push it into cinemas anytime soon. I think if everything is back up and running by August, because Tenet has reopened the cinema industry and everyone's back in cinemas, then fine, he'll do it then. But it may be pushed back again. I think odds on we'll be getting New Mutants in October.
Yeah, but that's like a fifth, isn't it? Like pushback, which again isn't, it's just it isn't really his fault anymore. It isn't the movie's fault at that point. But
no, I think people will give him one. I think people will give him one due to COVID. You'll get one extra due to COVID.
Yeah.
Okay, I think it's about time we get onto the what we watched, because otherwise we'll go over a lot. So this week we watched 6 episodes of One Punch Man. Now I do apologise because I didn't say how many episodes we were going to watch last episode. So we watched 6. We watched the first 6 episodes.
Well. First of all, I need to apologise because I haven't been a very great friend. I might have fibbed Joel a bit because I did in fact stay up last night and watch all 12 episodes, and I wanted to surprise him.
What?
So I have finished One Punch Man season 1.
Oh wow! I'm so proud of him. I'm so proud of you. He's watched his first season of anime, guys. I now have to apologise again. This was not the anime to start you on. This was not the anime that you should have watched first. But I am glad you watched it because it's one of my faves. But we're gonna go over what we thought about it. Oh, you watched it? Oh, you flabbergasted me now. I don't know what to say. We're in the middle of the podcast. Oh, my heart's a flutter. Oh, wicked. All right.
So
cool.
Basically, what went down? We usually watch everything together. We got to a situation where we basically couldn't, but I was like, if I can't finish them, I will. And then the next day, I didn't plan on this, but he was like, "Oh, so you only watched 6 episodes today?" I was like, "Yeah, I only watched 6 episodes." I was like, "I'll bring it up when we'll actually record him."
Yeah, and you said that as if I was angry. I was like, 6 episodes is fine.
Yeah. No, I know.
Yeah. But okay, so let's go over the first 3 and stuff. I will preface this by saying I've watched it before. My first watch of it was hilarious because for everyone who does watch anime, you will know that this is a parody of the shonen genre. The shonen genre being an anime that you follow a main character or main characters that have to progressively get stronger or progressively, advance in their relationships with those other characters throughout the anime in order to face the villains. And, each villain is more powerful. That means there's a training montage or there's a tournament arc or there's a thing just to get, our heroes to be able to come over those villains. Shonen, amazing. One of my favourite genres of anime. But this is a parody of that because it's like everything you think is going to be shonen just ends flat.
Yeah.
So, this was a mistake to show you first, but I don't think it'll put you off anime because I know you've seen some stuff that interests you. What did you think of the first 3 episodes?
Now, I won't lie, and I will say that I don't remember a lot from the entire show, right?
Right, fair
There
enough.
were definitely things that stuck out to me, and I want to talk about them. It's a specific episode that like really stuck out to me, but
Okay.
well, stood out. The first 3 episodes, the one thing I really remember vividly is the giant crab with the very thick legs and tight underwear. But I kind of got the premise of, he was training very hard to become a hero. That's all he ever wanted. He finally became a hero. He was too overpowered, and now there's just no fun in it because he's
bored.
People are like, they give him like half of their big like villain speech, and he's like, oh, like bap, their head has just exploded.
One
Their
punch!
rib cages have disintegrated. Yeah, and I liked it. It was a cool concept, but then I got to like the second, third, fourth episode even, and they'd start their monologue, and I was like, right, he's just gonna punch his head off his shoulders again, and he did. And it wasn't. I didn't not enjoy it, but it kind of got to a point where I was this joke isn't really as fun as it was in the first episode, because I've seen this in 2 different episodes already, and it does continue throughout the show.
I think one of the highlights for the first 3 episodes for me is the M. Night Shyamalan thing that it does, where you think the mole people are going to be actually super strong, and this is actually going to be one of those things where he has to shonen it. He has to either train to get harder, or he has to like defeat all the mole men and then try to defeat the mole man king and stuff like that. And it's an actual challenge for him. But that just turns out to be a dream. And that's like where I think the joke peaks, and it peaks really early.
I think, I did appreciate that. I was like, oh, okay, that's actually pretty funny. But then it just, by the time we were going through the other episodes then, and he was doing the same thing, I realised I was like, he really is just, doesn't really need any help at all.
Yeah.
He's just chill.
Yeah.
Other than, what's their names? Is it like, something like Tiger Vest and then Black Hole Vest or something like that? Or Tank Top Tiger and Tank Top Black Hole, something like that?
I'm not sure.
They're like 2 brothers.
Oh, what episode's this? It's like
the one I'm thinking of
on.
specifically is the one that stood up to me, which is episode 7. But I think they showed up a bit earlier. At least the tiger one did, or the lion.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah. Okay. So well, let's talk about the next 3 episodes from episode 4 to episode 6. But the first 3 episodes, would you just say it's like a bit weird for you, having never watched the shonen?
It's strange.
Yeah. I get that. I think that's cool. I think you might find it funnier after you've watched My Hero Academia.
Maybe.
But yeah, the first 3 episodes a little bit changed my mind compared to what I watched it before, because I will say I'm one of those people that watches anime subjectively. And like, if something's bad, even though I enjoy it, I will say it's bad, even though I enjoy it. Now, One Punch Man I've always put on a pedestal, and I always said, this is really funny. And like, no matter what, it's funny, because in the second season of One Punch Man, which you haven't watched, the animation studio changed, and there was a lot less like really cool animation graphic fight scenes.
Right, okay.
And there was a lot more like there were still fight scenes, and they were still cool and stuff, but the animation wasn't as great as the first season. And I was willing to say animation's not great, but it's still like a really, really funny show. My opinion changed a little bit when I got to about episode 5 and 6 of watching all of this. Not that I didn't find it funny anymore because I'd seen the jokes or something. It was trying to watch it with Nathan, realizing, oh, these jokes are really specific. Like, this is not just funny to everyone. This is funny to a very specific people. And like, my opinion changed of the show a little bit because I was like, this is a cult classic. Now I think it's quite a niche show. And like, that's something I never thought of it as before. I always thought like, oh, One Punch Man, like every anime fan needs to see One Punch Man. And realistically what it is every shonen anime fan who has watched 10 or more shonen shows, or at least 100 episodes of Fairy Tail, Naruto, or One Piece, needs to have watched this, which is, still correct, but like showing it as someone's first anime, I think is a risky move, and I did do that, and I think maybe that's a mistake, but we're gonna try again, hopefully. I say hopefully, Nathan doesn't have a choice. But yeah, what did you think of the next 3 episodes?
I can't lie, I don't remember much.
That's fine.
But I know that, I forget his name, but it was
cyborg... the House of Evolution stuff with Janos.
Is that the cyborg?
Yeah, cyborg
okay.
Janos.
Yeah, I thought he was pretty cool, and the way that he's kind of like, you are my master.
Yeah. Like,
I'm here to help you with whatever you need. And I could be wrong, but is this kind of when they start the whole I'm part of this, not league, but like this website now when I'm rank C.
Superhero Association. Yeah, they start that on like episode
so he was
5,
like
6 maybe.
Yeah, so like the mega guys are like rank S, but he's like rank C level 360 odd.
Yeah, he's bottom of rank C, and Janos is bottom of rank S.
Yeah. But I thought I didn't really know what to think about that. That being said, it does carry on throughout the season. It definitely carries on into, I'll mention it again, episode 7, which is probably the only one that I really remember, because I did enjoy that.
Right.
But obviously we're not there just yet. So, I mean, again, it was a lot like just it definitely had more story, those 3 episodes did, I feel like.
It was a continuing story from like episode 3, yeah. Episode 3 to 5, I think, are like its own little arc of story. But yeah, it's definitely, it has like slice of life elements at the start, and it's just like very disconnected stories. But yeah, okay. So episode 7 to episode 9. Let's get into it, because you like episode 7 a lot. So
I love episode 7 to the point where I even remember the name. It was called The Ultimate Disciple.
Right.
It was kind of like I was watching them all as they went, and then like 5 minutes in to episode 7, it was like the big meteor that he had to destroy.
Right. Yeah.
He destroyed it, crushes the city. It looked amazing. Then he was like, "So you've gone from rank C level 300 odd to rank C level 5," and he's like, "You what? How does that happen?" And everyone's like, "Oh, he must be cheating because nobody can do that." But the thing that sticks out to me the most, the entire episode was cool, but I have looked up the names, and it is Tank Top Tiger and Tank Top Black Hole.
Yes,
the really buff guys.
I know what you're on about now. Yeah.
Yeah, they're basically trying to make the city be like, you think, what do you mean you saved us? Look what you did. All the people don't have homes, and like they chant in this thing, and all the people start chanting with them. And there's like that sensei guy who's kind of like, I don't know whether he's telepathically speaking to him or he's just thinking in his own head, I'm not sure.
Right.
But he's like, "You've come so far. I'm so proud of what you've done. We know that you've the hero, but look at the way the city is. A city Z.
Cities. Yeah.
Blah blah." And then he just snaps. He's like, "Yeah, okay, shut up. I am not being a hero because I want to save you lot. I'm being a hero because I want to be a hero. If anyone has anything to say, speak up." One guy speaks up. He's like, "No, shut up."
Yeah.
Because if it weren't for the destruction of this meteor, the entire place would be gone. Look, I'm sorry, your cars and stuff, whatever. But I saved you guys' life. I don't care what you say.
Yeah.
I saved you. I am a superhero. These guys are assholes. Get gone." And like he just full on snapped out, but obviously they were trying to make it out as, "Oh, he's about to go kill all of you now. That's why he's destroyed just your houses first," and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think that was the point when he kind of came to the realization of he's always wanted to be a hero, but now he's like, "I am a hero." But before he was like, "I want to be a hero and I want to be loved and I want people to recognize me." But now he's just like, "I'm a hero because I want to help people. And if I'm being treated this way, fair enough. I'm not going to stop being a hero. But you guys just better get your act straight." And it was cool. I liked it.
Yeah, there's a lot of things in it, because obviously like I mentioned when we were watching it, there's character archetypes that you have in this show and stuff, and there's always the people that are trying to make the heroes look bad. I think that's really good that you like that episode in particular, because it's something that does happen quite a bit.
It's cool though. It was cool.
Yeah, super cool. So that's episode 7. Do you remember anything from 8 and 9?
I remember that it was a very dominant plot point that he was trying his hardest to get through the ranks and trying to, do better as a hero.
Right.
And, he was trying to get to a higher rank. And I don't know if it's in the last few episodes, so I could be jumping ahead, but I know there was like the kind of organization of all S-tier heroes.
Yeah.
And they're kind of like, right, this guy has just jumped mega ranks. He's cheating somehow. We got to stop him because he's actually the bad guy or something like that.
Right.
But again, I don't know if that was a bit later on.
Yeah. So we'll get it to we'll do something that's easier. The back half of the season. So let's just do the back half of the season. So what do you think about like the ending, including like the finale and stuff?
It was cool. I liked it. It was kind of big, like a big action showcase at the end.
Yeah,
like, I liked that.
That was very shonen for me, and I was like, I
yeah.
love this.
Yeah, it was cool. I appreciated that even though it wasn't that big, you saw the development of the Cyborg character and how he went less of I'm here to help my master to right. I just gotta fight. I just gotta do whatever I think's necessary at this point. I appreciated that. What I do think is that because obviously we see it was very gory in the fact that we see a lot of people just get disintegrated and like burn up and just like there was this one where there was again I don't know if it was a bit earlier on, but there was this little kid who was like, we have faith in you, like we know that I believe in you, and then everyone was like, yeah, that kid's right, we do believe in you, we do this, we do that, and like you definitely seen the development in people knowing who he is.
Yeah.
And then by the end where I forget exactly what happened, so I don't want to like say something that wasn't true, but at the end where we get back to that like organization building place.
Yeah, with the S tiers all set.
Yeah. Did he end up going up rank again, or?
I think he does. Yeah, I think he does. He goes up rank because I think that's the thing that's in season 2 as well. Because obviously season 2 is already out, but I'm pretty sure at the beginning of season 2, it's like where season 1 ended off, and he's now a higher rank.
Well, I was gonna say because I remember them saying like, "Oh, you're very close to rank B." Like,
yeah,
you are. Like you can be there like soon. So I mean, yeah, that was one thing I will say is that whenever the time is 8:25, whether it's the night or the day, I will always just let out a little hi, just to commemorate that outro, because like you knew the episode was over when it was 8:25.
Yeah, I love that. I that's one of those things. And the clock from the outro is literally the clock he has in his apartment. I love it.
Yeah. Is it just it's not really One Punch Man specific, but is it just a thing that all animes have intros and like outros?
Yes.
Because usually it's just credits, isn't it, for like TV and stuff?
Yeah, so
that's cool.
All anime have like credits, obviously, but they have like an outro to go with it. So,
yeah.
And obviously a lot of people skip the intros and the outros and stuff, but there are really famous ones as well. Like one of the most famous, there's like 2. So, one of the most famous shonen intros is the second Naruto intro. Like it's just a bop. People love the song. So like you will hear like some anime fans just being like, Alexa, play Naruto opening 2. But then there's another one which is JoJo's Bizarre Adventures intro, which is just the manliest, best operatic intro in the world. I love it. But yeah, there's a Naruto ending that I have on my Spotify playlist called Wind. And it's one of the outros, and I love it because like while I was watching it, I was like, I couldn't wait for the end of the episode just to hear that bop.
Yeah.
But yeah, they all have outros. So on a scale of 1 to 5.
Scale of 1 to 5.
On not would I watch again because it's a series and it's an anime. Would I watch further? And obviously just quality in general. How much you liked it.
I'll go in the middle. I'll give it a 3 because, as
Fair
I said, I enjoyed it. There's nothing I disliked about it. I just
a lot of
not
stuff
I wasn't into
missed
it.
on you.
Yeah, it's very different, and it's never something that I've really indulged in before.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll give it a 3 just to be, biased, but I'm not going to give it anything lower, but, I just don't feel like it's right for me to give it anything higher, just because, again, it wasn't necessarily my thing. Again, I'm not opposed to watching some further stuff, but, yeah.
Yeah. And then, so is it 3 for both?
Yeah, I'll give it a 3 for both.
Cool.
As for the live adaptation, I feel like they're just going to do it exactly the same, but just live action and really mad VFX, like Scott Pilgrim style.
You reckon?
I don't think they can change that. I don't think they can make it different.
Yeah, so it's it's one of those things that I was reading One Punch Man. It was when it was a webtoon type manga thing. So basically, originally it was a really shitty drawing thing from a guy called One, because he also makes a different anime and webtoon manga thing called Mob Psycho 100. But I was reading One Punch Man a while back because my cousin read it and he was telling me about it, and then that is not that much different from the anime, but that is a lot different from the manga. So it's it was weird webtoon scribbles, then someone took those weird webtoon scribbles, made it into an actual manga, and that actual manga was adapted for anime and stuff. So it's for me, I would say for the whole of One Punch Man in general, will I watch further? Yes, I am going to wait until I can't wait for season 3. Will I watch further? Yeah, so I'm going to say 4.5 because... No, I'll say 4 because I don't know when I'm going to get to it. It might not even be on release day. I'll watch it eventually. It's not one of those ones that I wait every week for the episodes to come out. It's I'll wait until the full series is out and then I'll binge it in a night. And then how much do I like it? I think it's gone down a bit,
That tends to happen though, see, when you watch things for a second time, especially when you're trying to show someone, because...
yeah, but I watched Sonic again and that went up.
Oh yeah, but this is the thing, see, it's, I used to be a massive fan of, I can't remember what did it for me. I don't know whether it was the Fantastic Four from 2005 or if it was Venom, but I still very much enjoy Venom.
Yeah.
But I remember I watched it. I showed it to someone in my family, and they were like, "Yeah, it's good. It wasn't banging." And then I rewatched it again, and I was like, "You're right. It's not actually that." I think it was Fantastic Four. I still like it, but
yeah,
it's one of those things where it's you watch it with someone else who hasn't got the same opinions, and you're like, actually, maybe I can kind of
maybe I'm a little bit biased on it. Yeah, I think maybe I am as well because I always thought it was a bit of a classic, and maybe it's not, but with exactly with Hollywood and stuff. I wonder what they will do with it. Scott Pilgrim style, I think that would work, but who's going to direct it?
I feel like it'll go one of two ways, right? They'll either make it very Hollywood and they'll make it bad, basically, and they'll be like, right, let's try and make it realistic. We'll give him a cape, we'll give him the bold hair, but it's not going to be as wacky, it's not going to be his thing. There's going to be another guy who's kind of the same
Jason
as him,
Statham.
Yeah. Or, again, they just got to go full out, like I've mentioned before, the way Corridor do their live-action anime stuff.
Yeah.
Or Scott Pilgrim.
I think
feel
it needs to be
exactly
Pilgrim
the same.
stylized as well. I think you've cracked the nail on the head there, mate. Because this is what I mean in genre, right? They made an Akira live action. Not Akira. Sorry, what am I talking about? They made a Ghost in the Shell live action, right? So did you see Ghost in the Shell with what's her face who plays Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson? It
has been on whilst I've been present, so I've seen.
So that movie is based on the anime Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah.
Right? And they did it, and they didn't do it a disservice. It wasn't anywhere near as good as the anime, but it wasn't a bad movie. Right?
Yeah.
And that's just because the anime genre that Ghost in the Shell is sci-fi. Futuristic sci-fi. That's all it is. Right? One Punch Man is like a comedy stylistic thing based on anime as a genre parody. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to go wacky and crazy with it. You can't Ghost in the Shell that. It's just not possible.
That's what I'm thinking. See, that they might end up. How Fantastic Four is very, even though they're serious topics, even though it's not that far-fetched. You know, there's still a big guy made of rocks. There's still a guy who turns on fire.
Yeah.
I feel like in the 2015 movie, which is not the one I was talking about that I dislike more, and I didn't like that from the get-go, but I feel like they definitely try and made that more real to life, which I feel like it could be the issue with One Punch Man. Like, I personally, right, okay, my dislike, not my dislike, but my non-love to One Punch Man is something, I don't know. Like, I don't dislike the animation. I don't dislike the fact that it's anime. There's just, you know, I just, not my thing, right?
Yeah.
I feel like a movie version could appeal to me more, just because that's my thing, you know? So, if it was a movie version, live action, but it's exactly like the stuff I've seen, I reckon that could be that would be very, very good.
Yeah. I
try
think
and
they
make
could
it more realistic.
But what are they going to parody? Because they can't really parody shonen anime, because we've never had a shonen anime movie, right? So they're gonna have to change the jokes. They're gonna have to change a lot of the stuff about it. Like it.
Exactly. Like one of the
they're
things
gonna have
about
to
this
parody
is the fact that
superhero films.
But one of the things about this that stood out to me, which I feel like if they don't include this, then that's them trying to make it more real. So, you know, the fact that he was like, I did 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, went on a 10k run, and I just became OP. Yeah, and he did that every day, and that is how he became One Punch Man. He just did a very regular bodybuilder diet. Yeah?
Yeah.
And I feel like if they do that in the movie, then they go like, yeah, we're making this One Punch Man. If they don't, and he's like, oh, I fell into gamma ray, or I fell into, or I got injected by this, or
mate,
this
if they don't
happened.
give him the famous One Punch Man regimen, like that's a famous thing from the series, right? That's like a thing that's all the way through, like in season 2 as well, all the way through the manga. That's like his way of trying to explain to people how he's got his powers, and like there's countless things based on it. It's a giant meme, right? They don't put that in. They've made a massive mistake.
I feel like, right, a good example, visually, Scott Pilgrim, right?
Yeah.
Story-wise, Detective Pikachu, okay, you also haven't seen that, have you?
No, I haven't.
Detective Pikachu is definitely more realistic in the sense of it's not like the is Pokemon an anime? I think we talked about this last time. Either way, we won't go into it. But Detective Pikachu got like a modern spin, but it definitely didn't take away the fact that there was Pokemon running around the place, and there was battles, and there was, all this stuff. And I feel like maybe that's something they could do in the sense of, a more adapted story. Because again, like Sonic, it was Sonic in the real world, essentially, wasn't it?
Yes,
It wasn't Sonic in just Green Hill Zone with all of his friends. It was Sonic in the real world. Same with Alvin and the Chipmunks, even though people have mixed views on them. It was them in like the real world, and yeah, exactly. Alvin. And there's Hollywood like to get things and go, right, if this was the real world, it wouldn't work like that, so let's just change it. Like that's because otherwise
don't need the real world. That's like the thing.
Exactly.
Like I'll just like post my thing about anime, and the reason that like I got so heavily into anime in the first place is because I love it as an escapism genre. Like when I watch films, I want to escape, right? Whether it's to the real world with a twist or a spin, but it's the reason I like fantasy. It's the reason I like sci-fi. It's the reason I like superheroes. It's the reason I like Power Rangers, right? Just this great power, villains like overcoming battles, stuff like that. And anime does all of that to its extreme, right?
Yeah.
It's like you want a fantasy world? Okay, we're going to tell you a story about a Japanese businessman that dies in a car crash, wakes up in a new world, now he's a goblin. Right? He's a goblin with magical powers. He starts a goblin village. Now he wants to take on the demon lords that live in this fantasy world. That story is ridiculous, but somehow you could make that amazing. There's an anime called I Was Reincarnated as a Slime. And this person is reincarnated as a slime, as you would see in any fantasy MMO, any fantasy game, a slime. But he has a really unique power called Great Sage, and it allows him to absorb objects and, like, get their features, right? So he's a slime. He can't see, he can't hear, he can't do anything, so he just goes around absorbing until he absorbs something, like a creature that has eyes, and now suddenly he can see.
Yeah,
right.
well, that's pretty cool.
It's my favorite isekai anime because he's reincarnated from another world and he becomes this like slime in this in this new fantasy world, and he like it's amazing. He comes across a goblin village, and the entire anime for me is probably like my favorite isekai of the past like 5 years, because before that, Digimon. Love Digimon. Digimon's an isekai. Don't fight me.
But this, I think I mentioned it in a past podcast, the fact that, for example, Mulan is based off a story of, the character of Mulan. There are stories about that character that just isn't Disney, right?
Yeah.
You know, like Robin Hood, there's the Disney version, but there's also, there's just stories.
Yeah, there's the Fox Disney.
Yeah. So there's loads of, I think, is it Me or Ming, or I think that's the character of that Mulan's based off of.
Right, yeah, something like that.
And basically, there's lots of stories about that. There's lots of films about that character and the origin of it, but Disney's a very specific take, and it's a very magical and fantasy take.
Yeah.
Whereas in this live action reboot, they're trying to get rid of the fantasy and make it more real. It's like, well, no, okay, there's loads of films that you can watch with a more real adaptation of it.
Yeah.
We want to see a live action one with the dragon and with all the fantasy.
Yeah, we want to see Eddie Murphy. I think it's Eddie Murphy, isn't it? Yeah, as the dragon.
Bro, I don't even want to see Eddie Murphy as the dragon. I want to see the dragon as Eddie Murphy.
Yes, in fact, like, yeah. I want to see Eddie Murphy's face where the dragon's face should be.
Yeah. Straight Sonic style.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just if they're doing this, just do it as if they were same storyboard as if they were doing it in the anime.
Yeah.
Just so happens to be live action. Do it like that.
In fact, when you're storyboarding it, take panels from the manga. It's already a comic. It's already a comic book. Take the panel for panel.
Do the storyboard as you would do in the anime. Yeah. But then just do it with live action. And granted, you're going to need a lot more green screen. You're going to need a lot more VFX. But it's not going to be a lot of, even though that doesn't really matter to a studio, but it's not going to be a lot of expensive 3D effects. It's just going to be background moving lines. Do you know what I mean? And
yeah.
Stuff like that. And lots of freeze frames where they're just moving in position.
Man, if I ever become bold, the first thing I'm doing is buying a Saitama cosplay. Just the red gloves and the yellow suit. I love the idea of them making Hollywood movies based on anime. One Punch Man being the one that they're making, I don't get, because like literally I heard about this and then I was like, One Punch Man, that'd be a perfect anime to show Nathan. But as I watched it, I realized this isn't the anime I should have started Nathan on. So how are they going to make this for the Hollywood like people? Like how are they going to make this for general audiences? How are they going to make this a blockbuster? So, it's interesting. Casting wise for One Punch Man, who do you think they should get? And if you tell me Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, I will not be angry, but the podcast will end.
Listen, this is not someone I want, because I feel like it needs to be someone young, but I am not going to complain if they cast Mark Strong as One Punch Man.
Oh, Mark Strong. I think he's a bit old, though.
That's what I'm saying. They need someone young, but I will not complain. And I mean, it's not
Jesse
happen,
Eisenberg with his Lex Luthor baldness.
If they wanted to give him... Oh, bro, get good old not Ian McKellen, no Patrick Stewart, the young version. What's his name? James McAvoy. He looks like bald.
Yeah, I think
I feel like I need like a kind of someone in like their kind of early to mid 20s, realistically.
Yeah, which is gonna be hard because they want them bold. I mean, you can make them bold, but like I just mean.
No, I feel like Karen Gillan shaved her head for Nebula. They were like, oh, we can put a mask, but she was like, no, she just shaved it.
Yeah, just get it off. Like she's a good actress, that Karen Gillan. I saw her in Doctor Who, and I was like, oh, she does this really well. And then I saw her in other stuff, and I was like, wow, she plays a completely different character. I didn't realize how good of an actress she was. Maybe. Ooh, Matthew Great Grubler.
Bro. You trying to tell me that you want Simon himself? Simon himself. I mean, yeah, bro, Jesse McCartney, chuck him in there.
Oh, true. Who would you be able to really get for that really good role? Like, who has just the deadest looking face?
But we can go with like the good old answer to everything when you need a young actor. Tom Holland.
Tom Holland. Yeah, but he's not that young, is he? He's 25.
I'm googling it. Live action. Let's say cast. Let's see if there's anything.
Yeah.
I told you it's Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Oh
no, absolutely not. If they make it Dwayne The Rock Johnson, I swear to God, I will not watch that movie.
Ryan Reynolds. I'm a bit older. Maybe
it could work though. Could definitely work.
Yeah, could.
God. I'm trying to think. You know who's a bit old for it, but I would love to see.
Who, bro?
Like, I don't want him playing himself. I want him playing an actual character in it. I would love to see Bill Burr.
Bill Burr?
Yeah, as One Punch Man.
I don't know if I...
He's a comedian. If you Google Bill Burr, you'll know him. Have you ever seen F is for Family?
No.
You haven't seen The Mandalorian either, have you?
Nope.
He's in The Mandalorian. Yeah, he's mainly a comedian. He's one of my favorite comedians in the world. But he's seen One Punch Man, and he had no idea what anime was at all. But he just watched One Punch Man on Netflix, and he was like, "This is great." So,
so I found something here a sec, and I don't know what the guy's name is. It's not actually telling me, but I'll just give you the title of this video because I don't know if this is the show he's in, or whether it's the character he plays in the show. But the video basically says, "Best of NoHo Hank Barry." Now, do any of them names ring a bell to you?
I've seen Barry. Barry's such a good TV show. Yeah, it's Anthony Carrigan.
Anthony Carrigan, that's what. Yeah,
he's in Gotham, and yeah, he looks exactly the way I don't even know why I didn't even say that. I swear, when we first spoke about this in one of the podcasts, I said him from Gotham.
I think you might have.
Yeah. Oh, he's super good.
Also, as well, again, I forget his name. I feel very bad about it. Actually, have you already mentioned him? Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah, I did say Jesse Eisenberg and his.
Well, he's not the guy I'm thinking of. That was just something that popped into my head. He's in. He is in The Flash.
Yeah.
Was he in? I think he's prominently in Arrow, but I've seen him in The Flash. He plays. Oh, forget I said it because I honest to God, I blanked so hard on the man's name.
What does he look like?
Bald. That's why I've thought of him.
In The Flash, is he a villain?
Leonard Snart. Leonard Snart.
Yeah.
Name, but that's the character name. Again, age might be the issue, but.
Leonard Snart. I don't know. No, he could play it. He's not exactly bald, but you could make him. Yeah.
Cast of Legends of Tomorrow. I know he hasn't been on there in a while, but Wentworth Miller.
Yes, Wentworth Miller, and he does stuff with the guy who plays Heatwave. Heatwave's still on that show, and I didn't think he was gonna stick around, but like obviously he's known for doing stuff like Dominic Purcell is the guy who plays Heatwave. He's known for doing stuff with Wentworth Miller, and Wentworth Miller left the show, but he stayed.
Something I want to point out as well.
Mm-hmm.
Not as good, but Arthur Darvill, the one who plays Rip Hunter.
Oh right,
who shaved his head.
Yeah, shave his head. Oh, it's not too bad, but that's good. If you see him without his beard and his mustache, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's not a bad cast either. I still think Anthony Carrigan is the one though, right?
Same.
And Anthony Carrigan just looks so much like him.
I just want to point out that we are running to an hour 40 minutes. We tried not to get another 2-hour podcast this time.
Yeah.
And we've kind of got a bit excited with this live action casting.
Yes, we did. Okay. Do you want to wrap us up?
Let's wrap it up. So thank you guys for listening this week. I know we have a very few specific viewers this week. For those who specifically wanted to see me react, I suppose, to One Punch Man anime.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if my reaction wasn't good enough. I'm happy if it was. But either way, thank you guys for watching. This is our 7th podcast, so we've done quite a few. We upload them every week on a Friday at 6:30 p.m. GMT. You can go watch the other ones. Got some cool stuff on the way as well. But that was our watch of the week. Next week's watch of the week is
Artemis Fowl.
Artemis Fowl. There we go. I remembered what it was. Couldn't remember the name. Which coming out on Disney Plus. Is this week? Next week?
On the 12th.
On the 12th. Okay. So yeah, that's the day of this upload. There we are.
Yep,
Sorted.
sorted.
So yeah, thank you guys. Update on the heaters. Same as last week. 2 are up, not plugged in, but we do have a guy coming very soon, and he's going to install some things. Now that people are kind of off furlough, they kind of get back to work.
Yeah.
We got some people coming in. Superman's an arsehole.
Yeah.
Bottom line. Don't tell him I told you that, because
he'll laser through your skull. Guy. Yeah.
Yeah. But thank you guys, and we will see you next week.